Hey, what up? It's your boy. Japan is a really interesting country when you come and visit, considering the fact that a lot of articles and news and vlogs and videos like this point out that there are an absolute infinite number of restaurants, cafes, bars, and clubs that you can go to, but a lot of it is hidden in a lot of secrecy. Every country has their fair share of secret establishments, but I feel Japan has probably the highest amount of them, and definitely the most varying amount of them. And the other day, I happened to get invited, or myself and Aki happened to get invited to one of those secret cafes, and I was really excited to go and check it out because it is a secret cafe revolving around Nintendo. It's a secret Nintendo-themed cafe called Hashi, or 84. I feel this one is actually one of the more famous hidden cafes in Japan, considering the fact that if you look up secret Nintendo cafe on Google, you will see a ton of articles talking about it over the years. But I didn't want to just read about it and talk about it. I actually wanted to go and experience it, considering that if you guys have known me for a while or you've watched Trash Taste where I've gushed about it, I am a Nintendo kid through and through. I grew up playing Nintendo games. I still play a ton of Nintendo games, and Nintendo has just created some of my favorite games that I've ever played. So the first and biggest question is, why is this Nintendo themed cafe secret? Well, not only is it a secret Nintendo cafe in the sense that you're not actually allowed to talk about where it is actually located. The only thing I can tell you is that it is located somewhere in Shibuya, Tokyo, which really doesn't boil it down or anything, because if you've ever been to Shibuya, you'll know just how many buildings there are in Shibuya. But even if I did tell you the exact location of this place, you still can't enter it because it is not only a hidden Nintendo cafe, but it is also a members-only cafe. In other words, if the owner of the cafe does not invite you, you're not actually allowed in. The owner of this Nintendo cafe is a man by the name of Hashimoto Toru, who is actually one of the OG employees at Nintendo. You want to know how OG it is? He entered the company at the same time as legendary Nintendo composer Koji Kondo, who, if you guys don't know who that is, he's basically the guy who made the Super Mario Brothers theme. So this guy has been with Nintendo since the very beginning, and after he decided to leave Nintendo, he decided to collect all of the memorabilia that he had collected over the years of working at Nintendo and create a Nintendo-themed cafe. And let me just say, as a Nintendo fan, this is one of the coolest cafes I've ever freaking been to. Wall to wall, it is just chock-a-block full with all sorts of extremely rare, extremely exclusive Nintendo merchandise, and there is a ton of signatures from some of the top people at Nintendo. I'm talking Shigeru Miyamoto, Masahiro Sakurai, Junichi Masuda, just to name a few. And as a fan of all of these Nintendo games, it's just really cool to see these super exclusive prints and signatures and illustrations and all this kind of stuff that you'd never be able to see otherwise. And I'm just showing you guys a couple of them now through B-roll, but trust me, there was so much stuff in there, it was really difficult to capture all of it and really highlight to you guys just how freaking cool this was as a Nintendo fan to see. They actually gave us a little booklet to kind of talk about the brief history of this place, and one of the questions that I guess gets asked a lot in this little Q&A section of this booklet is, well, that exact question: why is it members only? And there's only really one answer, and I think it's kind of cute. It's just the fact that the owner of this place is a really shy man. Gamers be gamers at the end of the day. You know, if you're a video game developer and your video games is your life, then sometimes you're just not that good with people. And even if you're not that good with people and you're a little bit shy, I just respect the fact that he even, had the balls to open up an establishment like this where people can come in and check out all this stuff. And considering he says that he's a shy person, I actually had a great time talking to him, just getting to know him, getting to know all the work he did. And let me tell you, the stuff that he worked on is actually fucking insane. There's this little shelf here of a bunch of video games from the NES era, Super Nintendo, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color. If you're wondering what this shelf is, this is essentially the shelf of games that Hashimoto, the creator of this cafe, actually worked on. That's right, he worked on some of the most legendary Nintendo games of its time, and even to this day, some of the most highly rated and highly praised Nintendo games of all time. And a lot of these games just happen to be some of my favorite games from my childhood. I'm talking the original Pokemon Green and Red. I'm talking Yoshi's Island. I'm talking about Mother Freaking 2. He even worked a little bit on the original Animal Crossing game, Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire. I mean, this guy's resume is freaking insane. And just talking to him and gushing about my love for these games while looking at all this super amazing memorabilia that I would pay outrageous amounts of money to even get the chance to have was just so freaking cool. And yeah, he's just an awesome freaking dude. But of course, at the end of the day, this is a cafe, and we obviously got to sit down after, you know, gushing in at all the memorabilia and stuff like that. And he basically gave us the menu, and it kind of works like any other cafe. You can order drinks, alcoholic or non-alcoholic, and on some certain days you can get certain types of food. We happened to go in on a Thursday, which was really lucky for us because on Thursdays they do this exclusive ramen item that you can only get on Thursday evenings, and we had it, and apparently it's based off like a ramen place that the owner of the cafe used to frequent when he was still working at Nintendo back in Kyoto, because if you guys don't know, Nintendo's headquarters is in Kyoto. And I must say that this ramen was really nice. You know, normally when I eat ramen, you usually get a bit bloated, you know, because it's very oily and stuff like that. But this one was just really like a nice, subtle soy flavor, and it went down super smooth, and it was probably the best thing I could have eaten at that time. Out of all of the items that were displayed at this cafe, I would have to say just the coolest thing, and just the part that I was absolutely freaking mind blown about, was this little thing right here. This is the original score of the Super Mario Brothers theme, like the classic Super Mario Brothers theme, like the da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Like, he was the one who created that, and that is the original score. Like, Koji Kondo himself wrote that with a pencil and wrote the sheet music, and that is the original sheet music right there. And as a musician, as a big fan of Mario, as a big Nintendo fan, that was easily the coolest item at this cafe. And I kept telling the owner, I was like, how much money do you want for me to buy this off of you? Because I will unload my bank account in order to get this. Obviously I was joking, but you know, he was really flattered at the fact that I was like gushing over this thing and just gushing over just his works and stuff like that. And yeah, it was just like a really comfortable, nice like cafe. And again, like, it's just like a really freaking cool place to go if you're a Nintendo fan, for sure. He also gave us this like little booklet after we left as well, and it's basically, it looks like a Japanese passport, but this is actually like a member's card or like a member's book. So now I can just like rock up to this place, show off my member's card, and I can get full access to it, which is really freaking cool. And I know, like, you know, for people who don't care about Nintendo and stuff like that are probably thinking like, whatever, who gives a shit? But like, you have to understand it from my shoes. Like step into my shoes for a second, right? Like, imagine like your favorite video game of all time. Doesn't have to be Nintendo, right? Or your favorite developer of all time. Now imagine a secret members-only cafe that is filled with that game or that developer's like most rarest memorabilia, like literally one in a million, if not the only one in the world memorabilia, just plastered all over the place. The entire time the cafe is playing that game's music or that developer's like music and stuff like that, and you're just chilling there talking to a dude who is one of the OGs of that game. Like, the dude literally, one of the dudes literally responsible for your childhood games. That's how I felt going into Hashi, and I'm definitely going to go back again now that I have like full access to the place. And again, it was just really cool to like just kind of gush about my favorite games. You know, like the original Pokemon's obviously some of my favorite games of all time. I even have a tattoo of it on my shoulder. Mother 2 is like, or Earthbound rather, is one of my favorite like old school RPGs ever created. It is freaking amazing. I know a lot of people are going to like compare it to Undertale, which, by the way, there was also, for you Undertale fans there was also a signed Nintendo Switch copy of Undertale with Toby Fox's signature on it, which is also pretty freaking dope. And just getting to, again, really gush about the thing that I freaking love is my lifeblood at this point, with a dude who used to work there, is just like the most surreal experience ever. And thank God he is such a cool dude as well. And I can totally see why like this place is loved by the people who got the chance to even step into it. I've been to a lot of like different like, you know, secret restaurants, secret cafes, and secret bars and stuff like that, some of them which I've covered on this very channel. But I would say out of all of the ones that I have been to, videoed or not, this one is probably my favorite, and this one is one that I'm probably going to frequent from now on. Like, the owner literally told me, he's like, oh yeah, next year is the 30th anniversary of Mother 2, so like you should come over because we're going to like be inviting some of the original development team of Mother 2 to just like hang out and stuff, and you're free to come along and we can talk all night about Mother 2 over a couple of drinks and some Nintendo music in the background, which, you know, I think any Nintendo fan can agree is like the dream scenario. But yeah, that was just like a quick little I guess like vlog that I wanted to tell you guys about. Obviously I couldn't like talk in the actual place because I was just too busy gawking at everything, so hopefully the footage that I did show did it justice. And again, if the secret Nintendo cafe has proved anything, is that the bar and cafe restaurant you know, club culture in Japan is pretty much unmatched. But anyways, guys, let me know what you guys thought about this vlog. Would you want to go and visit it one of these days? And hey, if you are a Nintendo fan, let's gush about it in the comments. Let's talk about it. What are some of your favorite Nintendo games ever created? I told you my ones, or at least just like a small cornerstone of them, but I'm curious to see if there are any other Nintendo fans in my audience that are just as passionate about it as I am, if not more. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Hey, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to smack my face right here. Subscribe to the channel. Let's keep making big channel number go bigger. Over here next to my head, there's a couple more videos you can check out if you enjoyed this one. Links to my social media, as well as my Patreon to support me directly, and nonsense.jp, my clothing brand. Go check it out. Links in the description, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.